Hey y'all, welcome to Kamira's Kitchen. Today I am going to show you how to make the most moist, delicious, old school carrot cake. You guys are going to absolutely love this recipe, and I am going to do it with the best pecans from the Pecan Pantry. These are their Fancy Pecans. When you get some of these, it's going to take you straight back to your grandmama's backyard, cracking open and eating them fresh pecans. They're so good. But these are those pecans without having to do all that extra work, okay? They're fresh, they're buttery, and the Fancy Pecans really come in an affordable price. And y'all, I love supporting a small business. The Pecan Pantry is a family-owned business that has been in the industry for over 80 years in Louisiana. Y'all, they're good folks, just like a neighbor. Go to thepecanpantry.com, use code Kamira to get 5% off and free shipping. Y'all, if you want that old school taste, you know where to get it from. Let's go ahead and get cooking.
For me, you absolutely cannot make carrot cake without using pecans. I am going to use 1.5 cups of the chopped Fancy Pecans from the Pecan Pantry, and I'm not only going to toast them, but I'm also going to infuse them with a honey butter flavor. These pecans are not only going to go inside of the carrot cake, but they're also going to go on the top. You know, there are these little details that you can do to your food that just make people wonder, what does she know that I don't know? What is she doing that I'm not doing? And y'all, if you use those fresh pecans from the Pecan Pantry and you just toast them with a little bit of honey butter, I'm telling you, this is going to be one of those things that's just going to make people wonder. And honey, you don't even have to tell them what you did. We'll just keep it our little secret. Now, I am toasting these pecans on a medium-low heat. I added in about 1/2 tablespoon of butter and about 2 tablespoons of honey, but you could use a little bit less honey if you want. Then I'm going to take these off and just allow them to cool while I weigh my flour. I preach weighing your flour for recipes because so many people over measure the flour, and that makes your cakes dry, and don't nobody want no dry carrot cake. So I am using 2.5 cups of flour. This weighs about 316 grams. I have 3 big old fat carrots, and I am going to peel them. You know, I really feel like if you leave the peel on for a carrot cake, it just makes the cake a little bit too earthy, and that's definitely not what I'm going for with a dessert. In total, I want to use 2 cups packed of the shredded carrots. So I am going to shred these fresh. Now, honey, you know, they sell shredded carrots in the store, but I just feel like it comes out better if you grate the carrots yourself. You know, the edges of the one that you get in the store, they're kind of dried a bit. I mean, they're fine for salads, but I just feel like this will just melt better into the cake when you either grate it or use a food processor. So now I am going to just put this in my measuring cup and pack down the carrot shreds until I get 2 cups. Anything that I have left over, honey, I'm just going to eat that for a little snack, okay? So you best believe it's not going to go to waste. Now, you guys, let me know in the comments whether or not you love carrot cake. Oh my gosh, I really just enjoy a moist carrot cake. But one thing I don't like is for it to be overly spicy. So I'm really going to moderate the spices in this recipe. I'm going to add all of my flour to a sieve, and then I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of baking powder and a teaspoon of baking soda. I'm also going to use a teaspoon of salt, and for the spices, I have a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. To me, that is perfectly spicy, and I like to use the pumpkin pie spice just because it has the notes of allspice and clove, but I don't typically keep those, you know, as separate powdered spices in my cabinet. So I just get a little bit, you know, without having to purchase the rest. I am going to add 2 cups of brown sugar, but if you like a really sweet pie, you could even put up to 2.5 cups. I don't like my carrot cake overly sweet, especially since I also add raisins, but that is just my preference. You will need 1 cup of a neutral flavored oil, whether you want to use canola oil or if you anti-canola oil, you can use a cup of avocado oil, but you cannot sub butter. One of the keys to make this really moist is using 3/4 of a cup of applesauce. Y'all, that is going to add a really good flavor and great moisture to your cake. Plus, when you throw in 4 eggs and a half of a cup of sour cream, you know this cake is going to be moist. Like, there is no doubt it's going to come out perfect. I'm also going to add a tablespoon of vanilla extract. I know some of you guys really love pineapple in carrot cake. If you love pineapple, then you can blend up some crushed pineapple and use that instead of the applesauce. I don't put both of them together, but one or the other is going to give you that desired effect. Mix this together until it's well combined. Then take half of a cup of raisins. Now use those plump, juicy raisins. Don't be using them dry raisins, okay? Then I'm going to add 1 cup of my honeyed pecans. Oh my goodness, they're going to add a great flavor to this cake. Toss everything in about a teaspoon of flour. This is going to help your raisins and your pecans evenly distribute and not just sink to the bottom of your cake pans. And then we're going to gently fold in the shredded carrots. Once those have been worked in, put in your floured raisins and pecans and gently mix them until they're combined. Now, y'all, the cakes are not the time, to be practicing your arm workout, all right? You just want to fold it in until everything is well combined, or else your cake is just going to come out tough. And baby, you do not want that, all right? Do not mess up this simple recipe. We are doing a big back triple layer carrot cake. Do you hear me, honey? So I have 3 8-inch cake pans. They're aluminum, and I am going to make a round of sorts to put at the bottom of the cake pans. I like to do this because I am 100% going to get my cake out of this pan perfectly if I put a piece of parchment paper at the bottom. So I'm just going to fold up my parchment paper until it comes to a tip, and then I am going to place it in the middle my cake pan, and then I will just make a slit, and that will give you a somewhat round looking shape that you can place at the bottom. It will be round enough to accomplish what we're trying to do. To help it stick, put a dab of shortening on the bottom, and then you want to add that shortening all along the sides. I'm also going to flour the sides of the cake pan because, baby, I don't just trust no little piece of parchment paper. My cake gonna come out. Okay, if I put in that work, I'm getting that cake perfect. And I'm going to do all of my cake pans just like this. Once I have them prepared, I'm going to try to evenly distribute the batter between all 3 of the cake pans. What I really like about these particular ones is that the side is so high, it's 3 inches high, so there's definitely no chance of you spilling the cake batter over. And even if you wanted to just do 2 layers, you could just split the batter between 2 pans and just get 2 thick layers of cake. I'm going to put all of these pans into the oven in the middle rack at 350 degrees. It should take anywhere from 30 to 35 minutes for the toothpick to come out clean. It took mine 35 minutes. Do not over bake. Once the middle comes out clean with a toothpick, you know that yours is going to be ready. And oftentimes the one that is at the back will be ready before the ones that are in the front. I allow my cakes to cool in the pan for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to flip them out with a plate. Because of that parchment paper, they're going to come out perfectly, honey. And then I'm going to rest them on a wire rack. They need to completely cool, and while they are cooling, I am going to make the frosting. I am using 1 whole block of cream cheese and 3 sticks of softened butter. Now the cream cheese is actually firm. I took that right out of the refrigerator, and I did that on purpose because I feel like it gives your buttercream a firmer texture. However, the butter is softened to room temp. I'm going to beat the cream cheese first just so that there won't be any lumps, and then I'm going to add in the butter. I'm going to start to beat this until they are well combined. Then you want to slowly add in your powdered sugar. Put in a little bit at a time, because if you just add all the powdered sugar at once, that is a guaranteed way to make a mess all around your kitchen. You're going to have powdered sugar all over your countertops. So I put in about 3/4 cup at a time, and I just beat it until it comes together. For flavoring, put in about a teaspoon of vanilla extract and about a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. Now, it must be fresh. It is not going to make your frosting taste like lemony, but it's going to pick up and brighten the flavor in a very enjoyable way. Then I'm just going to add in the rest of that powdered sugar and beat it until I have a thick with 2 C's, honey. Baby got back thick buttercream. When I tell y'all this cream cheese buttercream is so good, it's actually thick enough where you could pipe it if you wanted to. Now, I actually wrapped up my cake layers because I didn't frost it the same day. I let this sit overnight, and y'all, they are still very moist. All right, now for my bottom layer, I'm going to cut off the top just because it is bulging a little bit. Y'all, I've been watching the professional cake bakers online. Okay, I see what they're doing. I'm trying to emulate. Okay, so if this is not the right thing to do, somebody please let me know. Now, this did not go to waste. I ate that immediately. Okay. To the bottom of my plate, I'm going to add a dab of frosting to try to keep the layers steady, and then I'm going to put that flat side down. That way the base of the cake is completely flat. Then I'm going to add in as much frosting as I want to put for the middle layer. Now, y'all, my vision for this, have y'all ever seen those naked carrot cakes that those bakers do? Like, them things be looking so good. Y'all, I really be a fake it cake decorator, to be totally honest with you. So I just did the best that I could. If you're that person that really wants tons and tons of frosting, even on the side, then you should add in another stick of butter and probably another cup of sugar for your frosting. But for me, I could even leave the cake like this and just decorate the top a little bit. But see, I know y'all ain't gonna want to see that. Okay, and my mama ain't gonna see that because she is a frosting girl. Like, she loves some frosting. So I actually put a thin layer of frosting around the rim, and then I just took the edge of my icing spatula and just tried to make a little bit of a design. To make this extra special and just give it that oomph, I added on the rest of those honey pecans. I just chopped them up a little more finely. And y'all, this is the most delicious carrot cake I have ever had. I actually got carrot cake from a bakery for my birthday, and I tell you the truth, this carrot cake is better than that. It is so delicious. It's super moist. The frosting is just creamy without being overly sweet. I love this recipe. My family and coworkers went crazy for it. Let me know if you are going to try it. I think this definitely deserves to be at your next family function because I know everyone will love it. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. God bless you all, and I just hope you prosper in this season. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.